Welcome to Marvel's Spot On Eternals special, our first special about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Eternals will open in cinemas on November the 5th, 2021 internationally. Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek were casted as the main actors for the new team of superheroes, and like it happened with the Guardians of the Galaxy before, we will simultaneously be introduced to the team as a whole. First, critics promise a 156 minutes galactic epos, which is even bigger in scale than the final confrontations in Avengers 3 and 4. The Eternals were created in the evolutionary process when the heavenly beings, the Celestials, interrupted the natural evolutionary process on Earth and created humanity. Sounds somewhat familiar? Indeed. The origin story of the Eternals is based upon the book Chariots of the Gods, written by Eric von Däniken, and partly it is also based on Arthur C. Clarke's book Childhood's End. If you know these books or the Ancient Aliens TV documentary series, you also know a lot of the background story of these superhuman beings. Their counterparts are the Deviants, their bad brothers who seek to destroy humanity instead of protecting it. The Eternals were originally created in July 1976 by Marvel legend Jack Kirby. The existence of the Eternals also explains why there are humans with superpowers, a very interesting topic if you take into account that the X-Men will soon pop up in the MCU also. Actually, there are not many Eternal comics, which really narrows down the possibilities for the movie plot. A storyline in which the Eternals fought the Mad Titan Thanos directly, because he is a sort of deviant in the comics, we can put aside already. In 1985, the second comic miniseries was released, which consisted of only 12 issues. In a one-shot, a single comic, in the year 2000, the Eternals fought the X-Men villain Apocalypse, who we already saw in the X-Men Fox universe. In 2003 there was a complete comic reboot in which the Eternals were modernized and more grown up. A miniseries by John Romita Jr. in 2006, these new Eternals were fully integrated into the Marvel comic universe. The fourth miniseries appeared in 2008-2009 with 9 issues and an annual comic. In Jason Aaron's Avengers, the Eternals returned and then died in a battle with the Dark Celestials. Like it is often the case in comics, their death was very short-lived, if you excuse that pun. They were revived in the beginning of 2021 and now have their ongoing comic series in the US. The Celestials, creators of the Eternals, were also responsible for the genetic manipulation of primitive aliens, which resulted in the creation of the Kree and the Skrull. Both alien races have already been introduced to the MCU. The Kree, for example, with Ronan the Accuser, and the shape-shifting Skrulls in Captain Marvel. All of this clearly hints towards a galactic story arc of the Fantastic Four, which are expected to be introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe at the end of Phase 4. It is gonna be a fan fest. We will show you an overview of the first 3 phases of the MCU in the near future. If you are able to understand German, you can already watch them on our German channel or here on Serious Business Official in a few weeks in English. Eternals are not immortal, but they live a very long time and have an impressive arsenal of superpowers. They can mate with humans, but the children have no powers, with exception of Joey Athena in the comics. In the past, there was a great civil war amongst the Eternals, and some of them left Earth and became the Uranians, led by Kronos and his brother Uranus. Here again we see the parallels to astrotheology concepts, which we know from Däniken's work. The Eternals were also mistaken for the gods of Greek mythology and have, at least in the comics, built the Olympus. In the Marvel comic universe, the Greek gods exist for real, and Hercules is even an Avengers part-timer. Let's see if the quarrel with Greek gods will be a topic in the movie. At least there is a rumor that one of the Greek gods will be somehow involved in the storyline of the new MCU movie. Concerning the superpowers of the Eternals, we do not want to have spoilers concerning the new characters. We will tell you what every Eternal can do and what powers they can potentially develop. All of them have a lifespan of several thousands or 10,000s of years, and they are completely immune to poisons or illnesses. There are 5 generations of Eternals. The last one is about 3000 years old, the generation before is about 20,000 years old. And even if you destroy an Eternal on a molecular level and disperse the molecules throughout the universe, they are able to regenerate. So from a human perspective, they are quite eternal and more or less indestructible. Forces and superpowers that can be channeled by them. Superhuman strength, which can be perfected over the millennia by constant training. Superhuman speed, reflexes, agility, stamina and resilience. Invincibility, immortality from a human perspective, and if they meet stronger beings that can harm them, they have accelerated healing. Heat rays, which they can shoot from their eyes or hands. Mind reading and mind control, creating illusions. Teleportation, although it is an unpleasant experience for an Eternal. Flying and let others hover or fly with them. Transmutation of objects, meaning changing the shape and the very construct of matter. Force field generation. And finally, 3 Eternals together can join all their powers in one psionic being. Some of the Eternals concentrate on one power only, others have an impressive set of superpowers which they can channel over their lifetime. They also have 2 weaknesses concerning their creators, but I will not spoil it here because it is very likely we will see more of the Celestials in the MCU soon. You already saw them in a flashback in Guardians of the Galaxy, and now Earth is introduced to the Eternals and maybe the danger lurking. The Eternals have the duty to stay neutral and not get involved in the natural development of the human species as long as they are not attacked by deviants. That may explain why they did not intervene in Avengers 3 and 4, but what will be the reason for their intervention? Just the appearance of deviants, or will there be more to it? See you in the next Marvel Spot On when we talk about the new Disney Plus series Hawkeye, which introduces a female Hawkeye, which is mentored by the original one, played by Jeremy Renner. We will dig up some background information about Kate Bishop from the comics, and like all Marvel fans, we are really looking forward to the new developments in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.